All right, so as you guys know, we always set our objectives of each meeting. So today, we just want to help you guys better understand the value and purpose behind Google Business, develop a better understanding of how to use Google Business accounts, and then how to properly incorporate Google Business into your marketing plan, and also just kind of see the different ways that it works specifically for agents.
Yeah, the reason this kind of comes up now too, I think everybody's used Google at some point, right? It's now become synonymous with the word search. You Google it, but we've noticed too that although the social media platforms are a great way to advertise, Google ends up being the first place that a lot of people search. And yeah, so we thought this would be a really, really good one.
All right, so then what are your goals specifically? Some that I would definitely keep in mind as we go through would be to increase your exposure and awareness as an agent, um, contact clients or having clients contact you. You can even run Google Ads or have a really great place to generate and host your reviews. All right, so what is Google Business? It's a common question if you aren't familiar with it, but essentially it helps you as a business owner manage and control the information potential clients see about your business. And Google really has just become huge over, I say, like the last decade, in being the number one place that people access information from. So being able to use Google Business and the account to just validate and kind of have that partnership with Google that you are verified and your information is correct is just huge. I think almost everybody feels pretty confident when they Google a business and can see the correct information and that it's been verified with Google. It also helps increase your exposure and makes your contact information easily accessible to potential clients. So if they're researching agents, we won't get into all of that, but there are ways where if they're just looking for agents, you can come up. There are ways that Remax International has even paid to boost your rankings on Google to come up first and stuff like that. So it's also a great place when clients are searching on Google for information, not only in general about a real estate agent, but even specifically about you. It comes up with what they call on the right-hand side a knowledge panel, and it helps customers discover the verified information. So the knowledge panel is the part kind of where if you've ever gone on and Googled something where you can click and it'll take you right to the maps to get directions, or you can click the call button and it'll open up your phone for you and automatically begin calling. Your website's in there, all that kind of stuff. It just makes it super easy for anyone looking for you. All right, so what are the benefits of a Google Business account? And this is super important, I think, because there's so many different options out there as agents, even just with where to put your reviews. I know when I first started here, we went back and forth between Google Business and Zillow, and then with all the, them being bought out and all becoming where they're selling real estate themselves, it just became a big issue. So with Google, I personally don't ever see Google becoming a real estate brokerage style business, but I could be wrong. But anyways, it is very beneficial because it verifies your location information and address. So it will actually ask you for verification by mail. It'll mail a card to the address you're listing to verify that that is correct and that you get that code and then plug that code in. It verifies your phone number by making you call it and receive a call from them. It links your website. It also hosts client reviews and ratings, and also gives you the ability to respond very easily and directly through their platform to the client reviews, which is always a good thing to be doing. The directions are easily accessible with Google Maps and their integration with that. And then you can also post high quality photos on there to get even more exposure and create ads to boost your business online. I really do foresee Google not necessarily being a social media type style place, but it's definitely becoming similar to like a Yelp, but almost even more popular than that, I would say, or like a White Pages or stuff like that for business. I really do foresee people using this more and more to find what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think especially too, at least for me personally, I use it a ton with maps. Um, and that's an app that's right on the phone. It's all integrated. So I can type in Remax Advantage Realty and the information is pulled from our Google account essentially. And we've also been pushing, as Megan said, reviews that way. We've noticed that they make it super easy. You can just kind of copy a link that they give you to send to your client. That way you're not, you're not saying, oh, go here, go there, whatever. It's just send them the link. They go there, they give you, ask for a 5-star review, like we always say. But it's just the most used platform right now, just for base level internet searches and stuff. So having a presence there at this point, I think is pretty essential.
Absolutely. All right, so why use Google Business? There's a lot of advantages to Google Business, and even on a base level, an intermediate level, or if you're really into all the different aspects that it has, we won't get into that kind of like level, but for even just day-to-day business stuff, it is really great to have. And I think a lot of us use Gmail already, and I know for Remax we use Google Drive and the G Suite and all of that, so it's just another layer added in, and makes it super easy to use. So it's the most commonly used search engine. So having accurate contact information, great reviews about yourself, and just all your information correct on there creates immediate trust with potential clients who are looking at your information or researching different agents.
Really quick, Megan, I think, Ludell,
Yeah.
did you have a question? You're muted, so you just got to unmute really quick.
Yes, I had a question. I agree with you that everything is great about Google, but I am a novice really with it, and I don't know where you go to even input this information.
That is a great question. So I typically, and I should have this time as well, open up with, if we're going to dive into anybody's personally, let's set up a meeting with Megan one-on-one, because everybody's going to be slightly different. But yeah, we can certainly set up a meeting with between you and Megan and kind of walk through these steps, because it is important to get that initial setup and everything like that. Yeah, absolutely. And it is slightly different too than traditional, it's interesting to say this, traditional social media, in that you have this kind of very separate account that you have a lot more control over. This one's kind of a little different the way that it works, but you connect it with your other Google accounts. So that's kind of the first step. Do you use Gmail? No. Okay. No worries. Yeah. So that'll be the first step with a lot of this kind of stuff. And then you can control it through there. So yeah. And then continue. Any questions, please pop them in the chat, raise your hand, get up and do a backflip if you're capable of doing that. I know Miss Pat can do that. I've seen it. So yeah, if you have questions, start screaming and we'll get you. Sorry, Megan, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're totally fine. Thank you for asking that question. But yeah, definitely, we're always open to setting up meetings and working through that one-on-one. And we truly advise that because we feel that's the best way for us to help each and every one of you. But also with Google Business, maybe you were at a prior brokerage and stuff like that. So each person's different account is a little bit different. So kind of whether you already have an account, we have to pull that back from a different place. Just everybody's is different. That's why we suggest the meetings. So moving forward for Google Business, it also allows for an automatic automation with HomeSnap. And so that has become a very popular app with agents. And it allows HomeSnap to automatically post content for you, which ultimately is increasing your exposure and also giving you relative content. Kind of, I want to say it's not specific to you personally, but it is specific to your industry. That type of content on your Google Business account, which just adds another layer, but also kind of does the hard work for you once you get it up and running. So that's a great reason to use it as well for agents. And then of course, being the most trusted search engine, being Google verified it's almost a must for every business owner to be successful at this point. It just really creates that layer of trust for your clients. All right, so kind of a little bit of a deeper dive into how Google Business works. So on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see this is what I was speaking of before, which is the knowledge panel. And that is what your Google Business account to the public essentially looks like. There really isn't a place on here where you go to a page or it shows you a bunch more. This is kind of the logistics of it. So it will show you the address, the service options, the hours. They've recently added the health and safety due to COVID, phone number. You can add more of your business information. You can add a link if you want to schedule appointments that way. People can ask you questions, they can share this, all different types of stuff. They can see photos. It really is a great feature that they have. And again, it'll come up in that right-hand side, which I think most everyone has probably seen that by now. But by creating and verifying your Google Business account, you're just ensuring that when you are searched, that knowledge panel comes up. And it will be all of the correct information because you're controlling it. You're putting it in. It's not just any website that has publicized information about you. So it just gives you control over that as well. And
Chris,
then
you had a question? Miss Chris Santafonte? No? Sorry, I thought she was saying something.
So Google has created steps to become verified, and that's why so many of us trust it. Like we discussed before, in order to verify your address, they mail you a card with a code. In order to verify your phone number, they call and they have to, you have to pick up. Stuff like that, and those steps create the trust that so many people know that Google does verify those things. So essentially, it's just a great tool to be using.
Yeah, and I'm sure by show of hands, has anybody seen this type of thing on the right hand as they search in Google? All right, yeah, so everybody's probably used it in some fashion. If you've used Google, this is how it looks. Yeah, and you know, working on the reviews, it connects to all that kind of stuff. It makes it super helpful. There's the back end stuff, right?
I definitely use it a lot when I'm just looking for an address, and then being able to click that and it just goes right to the maps. It's like key. So this is how it works on the back end. So this is what your side of the Google Business account looks like. And you can see there's so many different options on here. And you can really, critique this to the way that you want it for yourself. Or again, you can create that partnership with HomeSnap and have them set it up for you. But some of my favorite features, obviously the reviews, it makes it so easy to just go in and reply, see exactly how many we have, stuff like that. And then you can even create posts, which as you can see, it shows you how many people have viewed it just to create some extra exposure. And then even the performance based on the last, what did I say, 28 days? But you can track your performance all the time. Yanni and I get emails all the time that's like, you're up this amount of percentage, or try this to help increase your exposure, all the different stuff like that. So it really does give you almost kind of like another platform for exposure. And then you can share your profile with clients through here to write your reviews, or if they need the address for a meeting, you can see right on there, view on maps, or share your business profile. You can send that directly to them. So it's taking that they're going to the right Remax Advantage Realty, as we do have 7 offices. But then you're also giving them your personalized information. They have that just through a link. And then you can even create ads. When you start a business account, it does automatically give you $100 of free advertising credit. So you can run ads through here as well, or even through your Megaphone app in Max Center, you can run Google ads through there. So having this set up for all the different components of your marketing is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the performance thing is really cool because you really don't know how things work until you see the back end. And then you're like, oh, wow, this showed up in 1,200 map views. And this is one of our offices. So we have a different, under the same account, different Google business pages for each office. And you're able to see, okay, well, in the last 28 days, it showed up on 2,000 searches and 1,200 map views. Those are pretty decent numbers.
Yeah.
And
we're not, there are people who get really into, running the ads, and we've never run any of the ads. This is just organically from us verifying our business and, updating our photos and getting some reviews every once in a while. So it really is cool to see how, just in the past 28 days, just from setting this up, we got in front of 3,400 people. So it does have that organic reach that I think so many other different platforms don't have. Like, you have to be friends with people on Facebook. You have to, follow people on Instagram, and same thing with Twitter to get that kind of stuff. So it is really interesting how big of a return it has for just a few simple steps and just doing a few monthly updates.
We got a question here. Is the HomeSnap the same connection we have through Remax Max Center? That is from Susan's iPad.
All right, I'm gonna try the same connection we have through Max Center. So HomeSnap is not technically through Max Center. HomeSnap is separate. However, if you're running ads for Google, Instagram, or Facebook, so any social media plus Google ads that you're running, Megaphone does push you through to HomeSnap. So I think a lot of people get confused with this. And basically there's 2 types of advertising when you're working through Megaphone and Max Center. And one is social media, and then one is websites. So with the websites, you're using Megaphone. With social media or social platforms like Instagram, Facebook, or Google, you're going to go in through Megaphone, but Megaphone doesn't actually have the capability to run social media ads. So then it pushes you through to HomeSnap, and you can create them that way. You don't have to pay anything to set up the social media ads or anything like that. But yes, there is a partnership between the two. It's kind of hard to understand. Um, if you ever have a listing that goes live, you get 1 week of free social media advertising automatically through HomeSnap ads because you're a Remax agent. So that's a partnership they have created, but there is not a like tile or app you specifically go into through Max Center that takes you to HomeSnap. If that makes sense. It can get a little confusing.
Yeah, HomeSnap is a Bright product, though. It's a Bright MLS product. They are integrated in some fashion, but they're not. It's not a Remax product. And then I have a question from Ludell. She has reviews from past clients, and we hear this kind of stuff a lot. So this is a great question. Can I put them online here, or do they have to do that? So again, another kind of cool piece about Google Business is that you can't do that. You can't just import a bunch. It comes from another account. Kind of similar to Facebook, I think, in that sense, where it's another account that leaves you a review. We can use old reviews on things like your Bouge website, where we can import them manually, and it could be kind of a running tile thing in the middle of your website to use those. But it would be beneficial. And I know it's been tough for realtors because the big push for a long, long time was Zillow reviews. But I know that there's been some people's like disappeared at a certain point and stuff like that. So I know that a lot of people are leaning now a little bit more towards the Google review, and it is somewhat of a rebuild for some people, but it could be a nice reach out and a nice touch for past clients to say, hey, I'm working on my presence, my social presence and my web presence, and I would love your support as I get this going. It really helps with the algorithm and all that kind of stuff, because this stuff, the things that we're talking about, any added piece to it helps with the algorithm, which Google runs off of. It's a proprietary algorithm in terms of how they sort things. So yeah, we would have to start sending out some of the links to get you some of those reviews. But I think it's a great it's a great touch for clients. It's a great piece that you can reach out to and see how they're doing and ask. It's okay to ask people for help, I think, especially if you've given them great service. And a lot of what we're talking about adding to this profile helps with the algorithm as well. They want to see a well-developed and built out profile. One more quick thing about the ads. I think everybody here has probably either indirectly or directly noticed that the top of Google now typically has 2, 3, maybe 4 ads where they seem like they're the top search, but it's because they've paid incredible amounts of money to get up there. But that's part of the benefit of the Remax tools. They are paying a lot of money for us to be up there. So using the Remax Bouge site and stuff like that, you'll find more often than not that you'll be further up in the search than maybe your traditional website or some of other things that you have, your Zillow profile or realtor.com profile and stuff like that. So yeah, all the factors come in at play, so many factors of all these different pieces that come in to build you out as a web presence, and they're all connected in some fashion.
Yes. Remax has done an incredible job with the fluid system that they have. Just about everything can be automated. So they really have gotten that down to just having everything where you're spending minimal amount of time setting these things up, and then it's automatically pulling your reviews for you. It's automatically pulling your listings to your website. And then within your website, you have your CRM. And then your website is coming up on Google Business. And so they really have taken all the different avenues needed for creating a system that is super simple, but also hits all the different target areas needed for agents. And so this is just another one of the pieces that fits into that system pretty easily.
Ludell,
So
looks like you were ahead of the game. The Google reviews. Here we go. I love it. Good students.
yeah, so this is a big part. It's definitely a big part that we work on ourselves as, you know, for the different offices of the brokerage. So I'm going to pull a marketing move here. And if everyone would go leave us a great Google review today, that would be awesome. I will email out all the links per your office. So ultimately we do that because it increases our exposure, which then increases your exposure. So with Google reviews, they are super, super important. That is how you come up on more places that are general searches. So a lot of times people might just, you know, be looking for an agent and they're typing in real estate agent near me. So with Google, everything is based off location. So if I'm sitting outside of, I don't even know what's right near here because I'm in the
Chick-fil-A.
Westminster office. No, I'm in Westminster, but in Eldersburg, Chick-fil-A, yes. So the Chick-fil-A right in Eldersburg is like, you can see the Remax office. And so if I'm sitting at Chick-fil-A and I'm waiting in line and I'm Googling, you know, real estate agents, you don't even have to put near me. It's all location based. So because I am in the Chick-fil-A parking lot, it's going to bring up Remax agents first. Now, if I drove farther down the road and I was near Northrop and their business, then it would probably come up with their agents. And the same for Bob Lucido, who's a little bit closer up the road. So it is all based off of location. So then the more reviews you have, you increase the higher possibility of coming up before those other agents when people are searching those generalized terms. So with the Google reviews, it does make them very important to the Google algorithm. So honestly, as we said before, you know, it's been Zillow, it's been, you know, even just like websites or getting them written and then putting them into websites. Reviews have been all over the place. So the really best place I would suggest is Google. I don't foresee Google crashing anytime soon or going away or anything like that. I would be super scared if that happened. And then I would expect Amazon to crash too, right after.
Right. They're like one of the biggest companies on the planet. And everybody uses, I'm sure a lot of people on here, when you're looking for a product or a service, we just trust what other people are saying. And we look at these, whoever uses Amazon on here, which looks like a bunch of prime degenerates on here.
It's
Prime Day. That's what I heard, right? I'm not a user, but so you're going to check those reviews and you're going to go down there and say, okay, well, how was this book, right? And how was this new copper pot? I don't know. What do you folks buy, Gina? I don't know. But some scrapbooking things. I don't know. Maybe Terry has a copper pot. That's why I thought of that. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. So yeah, I mean, we use the reviews deeply and they're a big part of our life. If they don't have any, I almost don't trust the product. Even if my friend tells me they're good, I'm going to go check it on Amazon and then I'm going to say, hey, nobody else thinks so. So, yeah, so it's that confirmation plus the algorithm. So it's insanely important, I would say.
It really is all about reviews. I was helping my brother buy a espresso coffee maker last night on Amazon. And I was like, oh my gosh, 9,000 and it has 5-star reviews. I was like, that's the one. So we'll see how that works out.
One more really quick thing on right. One more really quick thing on the review. So not everybody is going to give you a great review. And the good thing about this kind of system is you can't just delete bad ones, but which gives it more credibility, I would say. But more importantly, you can reply to them. So we have a couple of not so great reviews. They were directed towards a specific instance with a specific agent at different times, but we're able to reply, and to a lot of people, that is seen as another layer of kind of trust where you addressed it. So, oh, I'm so sorry that you had a less than stellar experience. We'd love to have a chance to catch up and see how we could improve, or something along those lines, or understanding what the issue is and addressing it. I see that a lot in Amazon too. When they somebody leaves a bad review, the company that responds and addresses it, that gives you another level of confidence and comfort. So I just see a bad review as an opportunity to show the searchers in the community what you're made of, and that you're able to take constructive criticism and then give some type of solution, or let them know kind of what to expect moving forward. Because you can't control somebody's in a bad. People are way more inclined to give a bad review than a good review. It's that emotional response that they feel with something negative that they just have to, oh God, I got to give a bad one. But if somebody has a decent experience, they're not necessarily triggered to go say, oh, that wasn't too bad, that bagel or whatever, so you are going to get the negative in stronger numbers. It's all how you address them though.
Yes. And people also know with reviews, there are crazy people out there. A big part of my job at Chick-fil-A was handling the customer complaints, and people would fill out like 10-page forms over a chicken nugget, and it blew my mind, but I had to call them and talk to them, and they had a whole entire system and like training of how we had to go through all of this, because that recovery is so important. As Yanni said, it is another opportunity to change the impression. And even responding to the good ones is huge, because it shows that you're active in this account, and you're also appreciative of the feedback you are given. I think it's also a great place to keep and remind yourself too, like, hey, they left me a review a year ago saying how great I was. Maybe I should, reach out again and see how they're doing this year. They might be ready to move again. Their brother might be ready to move, their cousin, their, whoever. It's also a great place where you can have your information from your clients. So overall, like, the reviews are they're huge today, because we trust what everyone else says so much, and we don't even have to know them. I think that's just society, and I think it really amped up during the pandemic, because we had nothing else to go off of but ordering stuff online and trusting other people's opinions and stuff like that. So I think, don't get discouraged by a bad review. It does, it's a ratio. They equal out with all the more good. But it's an opportunity to show that you care, and we're human. We all make mistakes, and some people just love to leave terrible reviews about our mistakes. So yes, Google reviews are great. And actually, if you go back really quick, Yanni,
Sure.
I'm gonna touch on. So yeah, you can see right here, request reviews. You can share to Facebook. I don't really see. I wouldn't ask like all my Facebook friends to go write me a review. It's kind of throwing I don't know. I would say not a high return rate, and also a high possibility of not great reviews, or people you've never actually even worked with leaving reviews. But you can share it via email with one click. Type in their email and just send it. You can copy and paste the link and just text it to them. You can do a lot with that. So, and you can see right here where it says share review form on the bottom right hand side as well. So it makes it super easy, super quick, just another step into the closing process, as I like to say, of what you're kind of cleaning up and doing the last end details. Just add that to your checklist of things to do, is ask your clients for a simple review. And it's definitely okay to say, a glowing 5-star review. Like, sometimes we have to give clear direction. But I don't think I don't feel like that's an uncommon thing to ask, is for a clear 5-star great review. So now you guys know my expectations for later from everyone.
Right.
5 stars.
We expect a 5-star review. You're not allowed in the next class, Gina. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
Especially Gina. All right. So there are a few, basically, what we have done a deeper dive into ourselves, which if this interests you, by all means, please feel free to reach out and contact us about, other stuff we've investigated and found that could help. This is a little bit on the farther into really trying to get yourself on the top priority of those Google searches is optimizing your Google business. And so what that is you're just ensuring that you're getting the most value out of your Google business account. And it's important to just keep these things in mind too when you're setting them up. So Google Business categorizes businesses. So some common categories, like you would just, be typing in and think, okay, I'm a real estate agent, real estate. So yeah, you can put in real estate agent, real estate consultant, real estate rental agency, if you're a commercial agent, those are some different categories, but Google has set categories themselves. So you can't create your own categories. You can't type in real estate agent Maryland and call that a category. They have their categories that you have to fall into, but you can add more than one. So then you're creating your account to be found on different searches. Basically, searches fall into categories in Google. And so then you get put in these different categories, and then you get optimized on, reviews and location and all that on how quickly or what page you come up on in the Google search. So having additional categories aside from just the real estate one is important. And again, if you really want to dive deep into that, please reach out. We'll set up a meeting. I've done some training on this. Yanni's done some training. We've shared notes back and forth just to really understand the algorithm. And we're always happy to share that information with helping you and your Google business account. And then here's another thing I think so many people don't think about when they create their Google business account, but it's adding those high quality photos with descriptions. So like sometimes I know I like search for things and maybe I'm just like showing my friend like a dog or something. I might like search up that dog's name and breed or something like that. And then I just click images. I don't even want to see like, I'm not trying to buy a dog. I just want to see a picture of a dog. So that is another huge, huge, huge thing that people use Google for, is searching just images. So we fall into a category that is great for that because we sell houses. So having some of the images of your higher end properties attached to your account is just a great idea, because if someone's looking for a specific style house or a specific area, linking those images can help you come up with your Google business account in the image search part. So a good piece of advice for that though is just remember they do have to be your images. Google is very strict about that. Just like in advertising compliance, you can't take images off of Google and use them in your ads or your marketing. Same thing, you can't add images that are not yours to Google. So it's kind of like a fair game. You can't add ones that aren't yours. You can't take ones that aren't yours, and people can't take yours. So that is also a great way. You can list your awards, events, all that different kind of stuff, just to give yourself relevancy. And then again, that also factors into their algorithm of more photos, means more active goes up higher on the search list for Google business. And I want to say that might be our last slide.
You underestimated
All right,
yourself.
we're getting started. Yeah, so if you just go to Google and search Google business account, it'll come up on the right-hand side. And you may already have a Google business account and just need to update it and log in and get things all verified and squared away. But it is a great tool and resource to use and to incorporate into all the other parts of your marketing.
Questions, comments, thoughts, ideas? Gina.
Can you answer the question from the chat? Because I have that same question about past reviews.
Oh, yeah, of course. So past reviews, you're not going to be able to enter them in because each account needs to create its own review kind of for, so they're not faked essentially, I guess. I'm sure you could like build a bot at some point and do this stuff. Who knows? But maybe Loretta's daughter, Lily, could make some AI thing for us where we can just capture all the reviews. I don't know. I'll have to ask her. But no, yeah, for these, you won't be able to import old ones. But what we can do for stuff like that is add them to your Boosh site and to other pieces. But these, yeah, they're going to have to be fresh. That's why I think it would be wise for everybody. It could be a great touch. And it could be in the vein of, hey, as I continue to use the tools and systems to be of better service to my clients, I'd really love some support as I continue to grow my Google business page. And this is the best kind of the best gift you can give as a referral kind of thing. Would you please give me a 5-star review? And always ask, like Megan said earlier, for a stellar review, 5 stars. If they have any questions on that, and maybe you can talk through it, but don't let them go and give you a 4-star review. If somebody gives me a 4-star review, I'm going to give them the old, come on, man, where's that 5th star? Some people are brutal though, because they just have such a strict rule of top shelf. But I'm sure, Gina, you're going to get 5-star reviews no matter what. They're glowing personality. You got throw a joke at them or something like that. But yeah, so these will have to be asked.
As long as the images I attach aren't pictures of me.
Oh, come on. I got to say, people are really hard on themselves, so be kind to yourself. You're beautiful. All right. Don't put that out there. I'm dead serious. You got a beautiful soul. Don't give me that.
I'm gonna put them actually in the chat. We're gonna start with the Columbia office. So you can see here how easy it is just to send the link and click on.
Right.
And leave a Google review. So the nice part is too, you don't even have to have a Google account in order to leave a review. And that is super convenient because not everybody is going to have a, Google business account or Google, they might use a totally different server. So is anyone from Baltimore on here?
I think Tim Lyles. Yeah. And then we've got, we'll send them out to everybody, because what we try to do, and I'm sure y'all noticed this, and this is kind of us setting the example. We want to follow up with everybody after this to make sure they got everything they needed and everything like that. That's a good practice in general. Are there any more questions? Mark, you had something?
I have a comment that
Please.
I want to make sure everybody knows. It's just not good enough for people to go in there and say, hey, Mark was a great realtor, 5-star review. You need them to be specific. You need to be, Mark was a great listing agent for my property in Ocean City, Maryland. He helped me through all aspects of the real estate transaction, and I would recommend him to everybody. Because if you don't do that, the algorithm in Google will not take it. It weighs better reviews, more words, more specific. They put them to the top of Google. So just a no comment 5-star review does you no good.
That's a great point. And the more specific you are, the more legitimate it seems, right? If, hey, Mark worked hard. He got my house sold in 2 days for $30K over asking price. And he gave me a pie at the end of it. It was a peach cobbler or something, so just kind of makes that humanizes you even more. So yeah, if anybody has questions on this kind of stuff, please let us know. We'll follow up. And I now have Miss Donna Baker is going to give us a little bit on some of the stuff that she's been working on. Miss Donna?
Oh, good morning. I basically, thank you for having me here, but just wanted to share a little bit of what's going on in the home warranty business in this crazy market. So, you know, in the past, when everything was normal, the sellers really would provide the warranty for the homeowner. But now it's really important for your buyer to talk to your buyers about it. Just because the seller's not paying for the warranty, it's really important for your buyers because they're taking these houses like they've never had to take them before, with old hot water heaters, old HVAC systems, old appliances. So, you know, it definitely should be a conversation that you should have with your buyer, because if you don't share that information with them, say, hey, you know, I know you bought this house, you paid a lot of money for it. You may not have a lot of money left to cover things that happen to your home. So, you know, really think about a home warranty, because people just don't have any money in this crazy market. And it's important for you to share that with them and, you know, protect them with it. And if you don't want to get into the nuts and bolts of a home warranty with your buyer, maybe you're concerned about if things go wrong, I'm always here to help. But also, you know, send them to me. I'm happy to talk to your buyer. I've been talking to a lot of buyers in this market, because people that don't work with warranties as much, they don't know the details. But please, I'm happy to talk to them, share information with them, and help provide them with this extra coverage. I do want to share a story. You know, everybody's like, oh, home warranties, they don't cover anything. But I want to share a story about one of one of the agents at RMA. Chris Carroll put a warranty on a home, and we have replaced their dishwasher, their microwave oven, their vent range. We gave them $800 for their boiler repair. You know, so they have been covered over $5,000 in claims. So, you know, you can see, you know, Chris is got, I mean, now sometimes it takes a little while to get the replacement of the dishwasher or whatever, but, you know, Chris saved those buyers over $5,000. So, like, do you want to, like, from that perspective, do you want to say, hey, oh, I'm sorry, you know, lady, someone to say to you, did you offer home warranty? Oh, I should have, you know, I didn't think about it. And, you know, are you going to be viewed by your homeowner as somebody that didn't care, didn't go that extra mile to talk about the home warranty for them? So, or you can be a hero like Chris and save your buyer $5,000. And that all happened within about the first 6 months of the warranty. So that's, you know, a great idea, a story to keep in mind when you're thinking about, should I talk about home warranties? Also, another thing that we're, you know, experiencing a little shift in is like, say you're presenting an offer to you know, a seller, and you're presenting a contract. What some agents are doing is offering to offer to cover the seller during the rest of the listing period to closing. And that has to be a 30-day window as far as the warranty goes. They're offering, say, hey, you know, as part of my contract offer, I am going to offer you a seller home warranty for the remaining time for when the property goes to closing to, you know, when it closes. And then the buyer is going to pay for it. So in the past, we've had the seller pay for it, but now the buyer is going to pay for it. So that's something that you can put in your offer to sweeten the pot, maybe, you know, keep you separated from other people. I did have an agent who told me that that helped to win her an offer. I mean, she made a couple other concessions, but she said they were actually already offering a home warranty through another company. She said, let me take that off of your plate. I will get you proof of a warranty enrolled within 48 hours of contract ratification, and my buyer is going to pay for it at settlement. So, you know, just another extra tool in your toolkit that you can offer to sweeten the deal. It may make a difference. It may make you stand apart. So I have another agent in a different brokerage that she consistently offers that, you know, as part of her, you know, presentation and trying to win contracts for her buyer. So just a different shift in what, you know, we're used to, but, you know, ultimately too, you have to expect that not only does it protect your buyer against unexpected costs, it protects you, you know, against potential liability, because you have somebody that's maybe paying $30,000 over asking price of a home, and maybe a few months down the line, these things start breaking, and, you know, they may want to, you know, kind of hold you responsible, you know, and like, hey, my agent sold me this house and I had to, you know, spend $5,000 on an HVAC system. So, you know, it's actually part of the whole package in, you know, protecting your buyers and, you know, and offering them extra tools for them as a homeowner. So those are just a few of the things that I want to talk about. And, you know, and even though it still is a seller market, you can, you know, always present to your sellers, hey, listen, you can offer this home warranty. Again, it can protect you against some liability, you know, 6 months down the line, and it really is only costing you $550. So the cost in terms of what the protection can be is really a small part as to what it can do for your seller and your buyer. So those are just some of the things that we're running into. Like I said, I'm talking to a lot of buyers because, you know, they're having to pay for these warranties. They can get a really nice warranty with a $200 deductible under $500 for a single family home or a townhouse. So, you know, just something to keep in mind, and definitely keep it as part of your toolkit when you're, you know, battling all these offers and, you know, trying to make your plan stand out. And I'm always available if anybody has questions, if they want to talk about specifics about that process, you know, to offer that seller coverage, you know, via the buyer. I'm always happy to address those questions. Does anybody have any questions about some of those things?
Miss Phyllis did, yeah, and I didn't do a great job introing. If anybody doesn't know, Miss Donna Baker is with Cinch, formerly HMS, account executive extraordinaire. She's brilliant. Loretta put her contact info in the chat. So my bad intro for you, Miss Donna, but I brought it back home. Phyllis, you had a question?
I do. Hi, Donna.
Hey, Phyllis.
I have a listing that's going to be going to settlement the beginning of July. The sellers did offer a warranty, okay, but I haven't changed it yet. Is it my responsibility to go onto the site and add the buyer? Should I be doing that?
If you've enrolled that, Phyllis, you should, you know, convert it and then get the updated invoice to the title company. That way, when they send the payment in, it'll have, you know, the correct buyer. Because a lot of times buyers will call in, and if the warranty hasn't been converted to their name, then they're not going to be able to make a claim. So then, you know, they have some delays, and then sometimes that's when I get involved. And I forgot to mention about home inspections. You know, since a lot of people are waiving the home inspections, we don't require a home inspection, you know, for coverage, but, you know, that's kind of with somewhat of an assumption that, you know, everything is functioning, like you can turn it on and turn it off and smoke doesn't come out of it, and those kinds of things. And there's no obvious issues, you know, when you're looking at it, because we do cover buyers for unknown pre-existing conditions and mechanical failures. So, yeah, just wanted to put that out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark, did you have a question?
Yes. Speaking of home inspections, if you have a seller that's enrolled and there's a home inspection and something does come up, is that a time to call the home warranty for repair? Is that covered?
I mean, some agents are able to utilize that, you know, really to their advantage, and they'll place a lot of claims. I think you'd have to kind of, you know, we don't cover unknown pre-existing conditions for the seller, but we do for the buyer. So like, for example, if a plumber goes in there, like say maybe a plumbing issue comes up, and, you know, in the inspection, and the plumber can go there and it looks like it's all moldy, it looks like it's been there for quite a while, you know, then that could possibly be a denial as a pre-existing conditions. But, you know, if it's something like I don't know, like sometimes a plug, you know, maybe a plug isn't working, they'll call an electrician, they really can't tell whether it just happened or, you know, it existed, then, you know, that may be covered. So it's kind of a little bit more of a gray area, but I have agents that use that seller warranty to do that, to fix those repairs. So,
Right.
you know,
So it's a case by case issue.
Yeah. And, you know, and I think, well, like if you're having, maybe there's a couple of plumbing issues and you want to place a claim as a plumber, well, if he's going to be out, you're going to be paying that deductible anyway, you know, you might as well put those other two items on. And if he says, no, that's going to be denied, or that's going to be covered, you know, if he's coming out anyway. But, you know, if you've got a $200 deductible and it's a minor issue that maybe you can get a handyman to handle that instead, then that might be your least expensive, most expedient way to go. But if it's a big thing, then, you know, you probably would want to place a claim on it. You know, a lot of the claims, like appliances. To me, appliances can be working and then one day they break. We don't really anticipate it. So that's really where that seller warranty can be very helpful for like appliances claims, failures, replacements, those kinds of things. So, any other questions?
I do. Yeah, if you do, please reach out. Donna's contact info is in the chat. And as you were talking, Terry Healy from Motto had a thought come in about a new product he wanted to share. That's pretty exciting stuff. Go ahead, Terry.
Thanks, Johnny. Actually, it's not a new product. It's just a change in guideline. FHA used to make us count 1% of the balance as a payment for a student loan, even if it was in a income-based payment plan.
Hmm.
So now what they do is tell us we have to use 0.5% of the balance. So, and then if there is a payment on the credit report and it's part of the income-based payment program, we can use that payment. So we just opened a lot of doors for FHA people that we told couldn't do loans last week, 6 months ago. So just wanted everybody to be aware of that. We are honoring it now. FHA is not effective until August 16th, but we'll do it now. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So that's basically now the student loan debt isn't counted as much against your debt there. Wow.
Yep. Only have to count half of what we used to have to count.
Yeah, I bet that's huge for
Well, if you have anybody that you were working with and the lender said, well, we can't approve them because they're debt load because of student loans, send it to us. We can certainly take care of it for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, special talents they want to share? Nothing. Well, we really appreciate everybody showing up to these. I'm glad that we've been able to get into a bit of a rhythm with this kind of stuff. And anything that people have in terms of what they want to learn or they think might be good for these types of events, please reach out and give us some ideas about what you all are dealing with and what you all want to are interested in learning about. And again, of course, Megan's always here for one-on-ones. She will most definitely be following up, but in the interim, reach out if you have questions on how to do this stuff, and she'll sit down and work through it with you, and we'll keep it moving. We're getting everybody into this, this next generation. So it's exciting stuff. I appreciate you all. Have a great Tuesday.